me baby. She said she knows me, I'm Mr. AJ. I told her I can be a bobo. She said she wants to be my baby. I'm like, okay, if that's what you want, say. Yeah, tell me, involve me. Depends how I'm feeling at the time of the day.
Said she want road, remember. She don't come for the same, She gaslight, she knows what's better. Give the cartel like Zella. Me and AJ locked in as brother. Any instrumental is mental.
The Modern Technical College, Omadino, as we are commissioning today, represent a flagship investment in technical education by this administration.
If my power ain't special, take you where you never been before. Assemble why I'm precise, Suachi. It's all I was in every day. We know the tire will be like a band.
She said she knows me.
In the last 2.5 years, Governor Sheriff has bagged major national recognitions. An affirmation of what many has described as a result-driven administration. In one word, describe Governor Sheriff Oborwori's leadership style.
Result-oriented.
People-centered.
Visionary leader.
Compassionate to his people.
It's all-encompassing.
Performance. Outstanding gentleman and administrator. The #1 performing governor in the country.
This year, the momentum continues. On the 12th of February, 2026, the Delta State Governor yet again stepped into national spotlight, receiving the prestigious Leadership Award for Governor of the Year. And barely 24 hours later, we're at the commercial capital of the nation, where the very scholarly editors of New Telegraph, having critically analyzed the impact of the Oborwori administration, have conferred on him overall Governor of the Year.
My message to the people of Delta is that they should continue to give us that support that they have been giving us.
There you have it. Governor Sheriff is working in oil-rich South Delta State, but the positive sound effect of his policies reverberate not only in the South, but in the East, in the West, and far North. Until next time, I remain Kokome Oko.
Alright, you're welcome back. Still on Thursday's edition of Morning Ride. It's time to look at our papers, and before we do that, I'd like to introduce the gentlemen that are going to anchor and also to analyze the papers with us this morning. Mr. Onometadu, good morning. Good to have you.
Good morning to you.
Alright, so we have our analyst, Mr. Bonnie Akeze. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, sis.
Good to have you.
Yes, good morning, Bonnie.
Okay. All right, so we're going to begin. Let's look at the papers this morning. And we're going to start with the Okay, let's start with the New Telegraph. Let's start with the New Telegraph this morning. And it says, Catholic Bishop to Tinubu, save Nigeria from collapse, end killings, fix elections. Save Nigeria from collapse, end killings, and fix elections. And this is the Catholic Bishop talking to our president, Tinubu. The writer says, say bad leadership, distorted understanding of politics, major cause of Nigeria's affliction. Details on page 2, 3, and 29. FCT poll, INEC queries staff for sabotage, blacklist transporter. And on the 2027 will be referendum on Tinubu's reform courage, and that's according to APC. 2027 will be referendum on Tinubu's reform courage. Executed projects. Why Justice Minister seeks reversal to old payment system. Details on page 7. Alleged corruption. ICPC set to arraign El Rufai. Okay, you can follow that story on pages 5 and 6. We have banks, cement, telcos drive Nigeria's stock market valuation with 102 trillion naira. Alright, bandits leader counters FG and sees abducted school kids ransom for 16 million. And finally, LP, why Obi lost 2023 presidential election. And that's it on the New Telegraph this morning.
All right, our next paper for review this morning is the Daily Trust. And the Daily Trust has below the masthead: 5 children die in suspected food poisoning, 8 others hospitalized in Taraba State. Court orders Indimi to pay daughters for $435 million. And Fintiri is said to defect as Speaker. 13 Assembly members dump PDP. The screaming headline here: DSS releases Walida. And we all know the Walida story from Jigawa State. I'm talking about Abdullah Ibrahim, the girl from Jigawa State, who had been in custody of the DSS for quite a while now. She's been finally released by the DSS. That's it for the Daily Trust.
Right, the Vanguard is next. Outrage greets gun attacks on Obi, Oyegu, and others. Details on 7. Anti-Tinubu coalition non-existent in FCT, Rivers, Kano, APC declares. Nigeria, 106 others back UN votes voicing support for Ukraine. And there's a welcoming home to Warri Kingdom. Our mother, the First Lady of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, today, Thursday, February 26. Yes, our mother, the First Lady of the Federal Republic, will be visiting Delta. In fact, will be visiting Warri. Okay.
So that's Delta.
Yes, yeah, but specifically Warri.
Homecoming for her.
Homecoming, yes.
All right, the Daily Sun is the next paper for review. We'll just take 2 stories there. Our church attacks. DSS arrests 6th suspect. Says its swap commander hid in a door for 4 years. There's really no hiding place for evil people. New IGP talks tough. Takes out of office, says no more impunity in place. Tinubu charges top cop to restore discipline, combat banditry, and terrorism. That's it for the Daily Sun this morning.
The Punch newspaper is next. DSO declares total war on police corruption and the impunity. Tinubu decorates acting IG, demands new NPF. Nigerians are my bosses, DSO pledges. Time's up for lawless, dirty officers, says new IG. Wow, he's actually speaking tough. But let's see how he's going to perform. Alright, recapitalization. 13 banks raised to meet March 31 deadline. Lautech mourns as 6 nursing students die in road crash. That's a pity. 2027 Kwankwaso Makinde hold closed door meeting. Labour issues Friday ultimatum to FG on wage arrears. PDP, Wike Makinde camps lock horns ahead of March convention. Finally, Tinubu's executive order blocks 2 trillion naira NNPC fees. And that's it on the Punch newspaper.
All right, away from the Punch newspaper this morning, we'll take a next paper for review, and that has to do with the Daily Independent. And the Daily Independent has, below the master, restore trust, discipline in place, Tinubu tells new IGP. And the writer to that says, era of impunity is on abuse of human rights. Over, says this. Another flush, right? Benin attack, APC proving to be terrorist organization. That statement is credited to the ADC, and you can get details on page 6. Gunmen attack church in Ondo, abduct 6 worshippers. And it's from the National Assembly. Oil probe last week's riot act to Edo ministries, department, agencies, heads.
Okay, so let's come back to the studio and just analyze the papers this morning. And we have our analyst here.
Yes. Mr. Bonnie Akeze.
Our professor.
Nice to see you again.
Yeah, Bonnie Akeze.
Okay.
We'll start with this screaming one, the new IG.
IG, yes.
Coming in, yes, and there's something that actually drew my attention when it says we will say no to impunity. So that means Egbetu has been joking when a new boss comes in to say we will say no to impunity, era of impunity. I begin to, I did not really understand that storyline. Has there been impunity in the police force? Was Egbetu playing all along? And now he thinks he will be the one to say no to that. Can you speak to that quickly?
Okay, in our Nyocha Oshimili, there's an adage that said you should be careful, because there's extent you will be praising your mom, you will be automatically indicting your dad. You know what that means. So it's like that is what is playing out in the the context you have just posed now about Tunde Disu. Does it mean there has been a reign of impunity under Egbetu? Of course, that is one thing that could be deduced from, as it implies. So, and again, I don't have much to say about, you're a communication person, you know what we call ritual communication. You don't sing funeral songs at wedding, and you don't sing wedding songs at funeral. So it's a normal ritual, or somebody coming up, perhaps full of enthusiasm, full of faith, want to give assurance, want to rekindle people's confidence in the police. It's all right. But only time will tell. Let him get to work, and we'll see how what the Nigerian police will be under his watch. Yeah.
Okay, so labor issues another Friday ultimatum to FG on wage arrears. What's your take on that? Labor and threats all the time, and then the next thing we'll hear is no work, like sit at home and stuff like that.
No,
so what's your
I've not read that anything because I don't know the category of workers that are being on wage arrears. NLC and TUC, they are the trade union centers for all trade unions in Nigeria. The fortunate thing is that they are operated in such a way that it looks that TUC and NLC are just trade centers for private sector trade unions. We don't seem to see much of the private sector trade unions, matter coming up at the forefront of labor issues in Nigeria. Does it mean they don't have issues? So, like I said, we don't know. Is it federal workers? Is it health workers? We don't. So, perhaps if I had read the story, I'll be able to put it in proper context. But generally, of course, the trade unions we have, we have categories of trade unions. The business trade unions, the revolutionary trade unions, and all other aspects. The NLC and TUC are basically business trade unions. What do you do in business trade unions? You do bargains, collective bargains. You are not bothered about the system. Give us what is due to us. Once you give us what is due to us, you can carry on with your business. They are not like revolutionary trade unions that can strive for system change, believing that the system as it is today has failed them, that it is only a new system only in a new system that their interests will be aligned. So they go for complete system change. So that is why sometimes you see trade unions align with a political party, or sometimes form their own political party. If you see how Lula came to power in Brazil, you will know that it was a revolutionary trade union movement, that supported, and that was his base, and that was how he was able to, defeat the incumbent and a system change resulted in Brazil. So, but that is not what we have here. What these guys are saying, give us what is due to us.
Okay, when you're talking about the different stratifications of trade unionism, they come by different contexts. You talked about business unionism, centers, and you also talked about revolutionary. But in the Nigerian sector, when you had the likes of Solomon, we had the likes of Wabara, we had the likes of Oshomole. It's just that Oshomole has now moved from being the unionism to a philanthropist, a lover boy. He's moved from those levels. We also had them at various points becoming revolutionary. That is why there was a transgressional change to the Labour Party that we're experiencing today. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, no, Oshomole, they were not the time we experienced revolutionary trade unionism was in the anti-colonial struggle. In the days of Imodo, in the days of Ndokeze, in the days of the man in the north, I remember his name again. Those they were asking the colonial masters to leave. They were not asking the colonial masters for welfare issues. They were asking them to leave. So that was the time trade unions were partners of political parties and political movements, because they were fighting the same cause. So it was the political fight, the political struggle, the anti-colonial political struggle was fought through a united front. So these guys were not asking for welfare. They said, you must go, we have come up to age to govern ourselves, to manage our own affairs, believing that when we start managing our own affairs, things will get better for the Nigerian workers. The Nigeria being governed by Nigerians is, by their own estimation, would be more passionate towards the workers, and Nigerian workers will get a better bargain. So what Oshomole, in the era of Oshomole and the rest of them, right from past Kabafaya and down, they were talking about the welfare of workers. When they rise against policy, they arise against it because they feel such policy will translate to hardship. The worker, it will affect workers negatively.
Yes.
So they have always followed, and you saw that immediately after independence, the marriage or the alliance collapsed when the Nigerians became the political leaders. They assumed they replaced the colonial masters, and the labor unions began to still feel the same treatment that the colonial. So even said that they even realized that the colonial master treated them better. So it is natural if you in conflict and peace studies, you will be taught that when our interests align, we will cooperate.
Yes. When
our interests diverge, we will compete. There's no two ways about it. So if your win is my win, of course the stages, the contest is set for cooperation. If your win is my loss, we are going to slot it out.
All right, so let's quickly take this. Tinubu executive orders block 2 trillion naira NNPC fees. I'll go into details. President Bola Tinubu signed a landmark executive order this month, February 2026, designed to stop the Nigerian National Petroleum Company, NNPC Limited, from making massive pre-remittance deductions. Now, this move is estimated to block approximately 2.76 trillion naira in fees and funds that the NNPC would have otherwise retained over a 4-year period. Now, I'm asking, isn't it the PRA that oversees the NNPC or whatever funds that come from the NNPC? Now, does an executive order override the PRA?
Okay, I've had such arguments all along with it. Okay, let's put it the way perhaps Nigerians will understand it. This argument is that NNP, it's NNPCL.
Yes,
that's
NNPCL.
Limited Liability Company. Fine. Who owns the Limited Liability Company? Who owns the Limited Liability Company? This is a business. It's a commercial venture, but it's owned by somebody. We know who is the chairman CEO of Dangote Group.
Yes.
We know who is the chairman CEO of Health Holding. So the federal government of Nigeria is the owner of NNPCL. Whoever is on the board, is on the management, is answerable to the owners of the company. Is NNPCL is commercial? Is it quoted on the Nigerian Stock Exchange? How many Nigerians are shareholders? So NNPC is not absolutely a private. It's private speaking. It is owned by the Nigerian government. And who is the Nigerian government? The Nigerian state. It's the Nigerian state. And who is the CEO, the chairman CEO of the Nigerian state?
The president.
It's the president. It's the president. So NNPC is answerable to the president. If the president, what was supposed to be saying, does the president have the powers to issue executive order? And under what context can he issue executive order? See, NNP, I've said on this stage, said some time ago that I don't like discussing NNPC. Okay. Because if you go and read Judge Sorrow, the Revenue Watch Institute's publication on escaping the resource curse, edited by Judge Sorrow, you will read about what goes on in the oil industry around the world. Around the world, nation by nation, they analyze. Nigeria is not the only oil producing nation. When you see the petroleum economy, how the oil industry is run around the world, even including on this African continent, you will cry for Nigeria. You will cry for Nigeria. You will know that it's like NNPC was used to turn Nigeria oil wealth into a curse for the country. So any that the legendary subsidy scam, the abuse of the subsidy, who presided over it?
NNPC.
It's NNPC. It's NNPC. The perennial turnaround of refineries that never produce any turnaround.
Yes.
Who has presided over it?
NNPC.
So what are we talking about? If the president finds the courage to take steps to remove this white elephant in the house, it should be applauded. Nigeria, we've had it so bad with NNPC.
Yes, and you see the advantage that Mr. President had over that order was, one, he's a chartered accountant, and secondly, somebody who has played, you know, who's tough, used to be in the oil and gas, having worked with Mobil Nigeria Limited. So he has a thorough process of understanding of the workings of the NNPC. NNPC was making 50% of total funds into their pockets, enriching themselves, living big and large, putting their own children. As the father steps out of, probably the father steps out as an executive director, procurement, and he brings in his daughter, he brings in his son. It was an oil well for a few people. That was why you saw that when the probe was going on, saw somebody having 200-something million naira.
Let me speak to that again. You see, yes, the President Bola Tinubu's background as a chartered accountant, of course, comes with a lot of advantage. Not just a chartered accountant has worked at that level at Mobil, but it is an advantage. But it is not because the past president didn't. The issue of knowledge of the industry or what is happening there wasn't their problem. In the last Buhari's administration, Buhari was oil minister, petroleum minister.
Was he knowledgeable? He was
fine. Buhari was petroleum minister. When he came in his first tenure, he's a minister. His CMD, the first CMD he appointed was Dr. Kachiku, Dr. Ibe Kachiku, Emmanuel Ibe Kachiku. Ibe Kachiku was, as at the appointment, was the executive vice president of Mobil, Africa and Middle East. He was one of the world's most celebrated oil industry technocrats. From CMD, they brought him to become the Minister of State for Petroleum. You could still recall the drama between him and Maria Carey. You know, so under Jonathan, Desiani was go and read Desiani's profile. Desiani grew up in Shell camp. She became the first Nigerian, the first Nigerian female or something to rose to the place he rose to in Shell. You know the type of IOC that Shell is. So we can name from the time of our Richard Adams to Gaius Obaseki. Go to NNPC and ask the name Gaius Obaseki. You know, so we have it has never been issue of knowledge, of capacity. It has been issue of political will. That is my own, what I have deduced from what my study of it has been issue of political will.
All right, let's take our last story, which has to do with the release of the Walida girl. Yeah, the Jigawa girl who has been detained by the DSS over the period. He didn't have to take much agitation for her to be released, because recently there was this very serious agitation that she must be released. The Arewa group came up and another group also came up and said no, that she has to be released. He didn't have to take that long, for them for the DSS to have allowed her.
People actually said she was missing at a point. She was a missing.
But meanwhile, she was
they recorded as it was recorded as a missing girl.
Anyway, yes, I know the story, but I didn't quite follow it. Yeah. But my issue is, Nigeria is not an island unto itself. Today, we are in the information age. Anything that happens, the world is no longer the world in enclosures. We are now a global community by way of the information revolution. So, what we see in other climes with secret police, Nigeria, the DSS is a police. It's a police organization, but it's a secret police organization for the state. Their mandate is issues that causes infractions to the operation of the Nigerian state. So, but the way it has operated, it leaves so much to be questioned. Because what we know those secret organizations, because they are subterranean organizations, they operate on they have high intelligence network, and before they pick up somebody, a prima facie case would have been established. Prima facie means of investigation has been rounded up and they have shown that you have a case to answer. So that once you are picked up, you are taken to face the law. But what we see here is that they pick up people and put them in and say we're doing investigation. So why do you hurriedly go? If you have not gotten you are doing investigation, it means you are still alleging.
Yes.
You have not have a sufficient fact. You have not established a prima facie case. So why are you? And we have seen a situation where you hurriedly arrest people, put them in detention, and at the end of the day, you are not able to prosecute them. And when you even prosecute, your allegation falls face flat. So it's like you are just content with naming and shaming and embarrassing the person because you know you are not going to be able to win anything before the law. So I think it will show up the image of the organization. It will make the Nigerian state more efficient. It will serve the larger interests for which they mandate organization. If they become professional, if they follow this thing and make sure that before you are picked up, your investigation has been concluded. So that within 24 or 48 hours, you are in the court. You are before the court of law to answer. But because when you put people, if you arrest people and you need a long period of detention, first of all, the constitution is there that any person picked up for a certain level of offense, it must be brought to before the court, competent jurisdiction, within 48 hours. So when you pick the person, it is now the court that will say, be remanded. It is the court that will say, be remanded in correctional service custody, or go back to the secret police custody. But it looks like the law enforcement agent, a law enforcement agent does not even care to follow the tenets of the law. That is what it's looking like. So, I don't know. It is one of those things that is part of the challenges we are facing in Nigeria. We are talking of democracy. How many of us are really ready to submit to the rule of law? How many people? Because if I am caught on the road now, that for a certain traffic offense, the first thing my instinct says me is to see how to evade punishment. So that is why I am the worst case scenario is that the people who apprehended me, the task force or whatever, have higher inclination to collect some tip from me and allow me to go. Even they themselves are not even ready to follow. Let me give you a scenario. I was coming from Abo some time years ago with my cousin. We went for a wedding. My Corolla that time, when I want, if I don't renew my paper, I keep my car at home. Or if my driver's license is expired, I won't drive. Because I don't want to beg anybody on the road. So the registration thing, part of the engine and chassis number, this is 13. So the lady who wrote it wrote 3 very close to 1. And when you look at it, it look like a B. So they just come in. When I noticed this, I went. In fact, the first time a police officer, sorry, I didn't even notice it. So, but he checked the other. I'm telling you, because we don't condemn everybody. It was a police officer who showed me. He said, "Okay, you will go back, ask them to change this thing." If I had not seen the real writing of this thing in the other this thing, I would have held you. I would have held you for this thing. Oh, I said thank you very much.
Okay.
So I went to licensing office. They say that one is not an issue now. Okay, drop it. Drop the photocopy. That we will do another. Give me a phone number. I will call. Don't worry, we'll do it. This was within a week or 2 weeks. I was coming from Abo. They called. I heard them. So immediately the guy spotted it. I said, I told my cousin and my wife, calm down. The guy said it's a stolen car. I said, officer, this is not a stolen car, this is my car. He said, no, it's a stolen car. I said, so what are we going to do? He said, we're taking the car to the station. I said, very fine, let's go.
Oh, okay.
He said, we're taking, I said, I've heard you now, let's go. So the guy said, okay. They were saying, please give them. I said, no, not giving it. Let's go to the station. When we got to the station, the guy went into the office. We were asking. After it didn't come out, I went to say the people at the, I said, madam, I beg, the man who brought us here, it's okay, that man, that officer that came in, 2 of them said, the guy came. I said, please, we are here. You have taken him. Bring to your inventory notes. Let me sign so that I'll hand over the vehicle to you. When you finish your investigation, if I stole the car, I will face the law. If I didn't steal the car, I will know what to do for false allegation.
Yes.
Because I show you all the paper, I showed you. The guy remember. The next time their boss came and said, he said the guy said I should come. I said, come to do what? I want to properly hand over the car. So their guy came out and said, you say you people are coming from wedding. I said, yes sir, we are coming from wedding. He said, I think it was a public or one of these salah or something. He said, you people have been enjoying now, we are on the road. You can't do salah for us. I said, that's not what I came here for. I came here because my car has been spotted as a stolen car. So I want to hand over so that you people do your investigation. The guy laughed. I said, okay, do weekend for us, make you. They go. At the end of the day, of course, he said, I am in charge here. Leave this boy. So we laughed. And at the end of the day, because the guy was friendly, I became friendly with him and, we just, so that is his story. I'm saying, but my wife and my cousin, I carried 3 people, my wife and my 2 girls, they were saying, the other one said, let me give them money. I said, if you are giving money, you have admitted
that you stole
this car. You have admitted.
At the end of the day, no money
he said, bros, in a waste of time, I beg. I said,
All right, Mr.
Waste of his time. So that is why. So I'm just telling you that nobody wants to face the law.
Yes.
No, I don't know how many Nigerians are ready to submit themselves to the rule of law.
Okay. Thank you so much, Mr. Bonnet, for that eye-opener. That shows that you are a good Nigerian.
No, it's not all of us. We should
yes,
just
you
try.
didn't. You
We
didn't
have
give
our
money.
role.
We
should have our role to play.
Mr. Bonnie, if you had given money, it would have been something else. We would have called you. But you are a good citizen. And
there is nothing wrong that when you see people at their duty post doing the job for all of us.
You just encourage them.
Encourage them.
Yeah,
appreciate
that's true.
them.
That's true. All right, thank you so much for coming to analyze the papers with us this morning. And that's all we drop papers. Today we'll go on a breather, and when we return, it will be time for an export. Please stay with us. Thank you so much, Mr. Bonnie.
Uncle Bonnie, thank you.
Like I tell you, very soon electricity for Delta State it go be one of the best for Nigeria. Stop! You don't start. Calm down. You get wetin I don't tell you before when you don't tell me now. Say this year 2026 they go complete the DSA roundabout flyover for a free. No, they watch whether it go happen now. Sure, why not go happen? This year just a start now. The construction of the DSA roundabout flyover for a free is already 98% complete. You sure? Yes. Governor Sheriff they drive to modernize urban infrastructure so that it go ease traffic congestion across key metropolitan. You mean metropolitan corridor? Yes. You know, say me an English not like this. Well, I not go like Governor Sheriff they do well because I know of some communities where they say their expectations, I mean their dreams, has become a reality. You will talk something about electricity. Our governor, Right Honorable Sheriff, he done this set to add 120 megawatts to the national grid. Oh boy. This one go boost Delta State energy capacity.
Delta State Health Insurance Scheme expanded between 2023 to 2025, becoming Nigeria's largest state health insurance scheme. While Oborewori no go clinch double honors as Governor of the Year 2025.
Governor Oborewori don't remember Kokori Sweet Crudo with 12 billion naira road rehabilitation. I know, a 35.32 kilometer road for Ethiopia East local government area.
150 primary healthcare centers under renovation and upgrade across the state.
This road intervention where Governor Sheriff they do so. Now practical demonstration of the Governor Sheriff opportunities for all where they more agenda. Particularly communities where those suffer neglect for years.
Governor Sheriff they work with the CM Marine.
Brought to you by Delta State Ministry of Information.
In the last 2.5 years, Governor Sheriff has backed major national recognitions, an affirmation of what many has described as a result-driven administration. In one word, describe Governor Sheriff Oborewori's leadership style.
Result-oriented.
People-centered.
Visionary leader.
Compassionate to his people.
It's all encompassing.
Performance. Outstanding gentleman and administrator. The #1 performing governor in the country.
This year, the momentum continues. On the 12th of February 2026, the Delta State Governor yet again stepped into national spotlight, receiving the prestigious Leadership Award for Governor of the Year. And barely 24 hours later, we're at the commercial capital of the nation, where the very scholarly editors of New Telegraph have having critically analyzed the impact of the Oborowori administration, has conferred on him overall Governor of the Year.
My message to the people of Delta is that they should continue to give us that support that they have been giving us.
There you have it. Governor Sheriff is working in oil-rich South Delta State, but the positive sound effect of his policies reverberate not only in the South, but in the East, in the West, and far North. Until next time, I remain Kokome Oko. Bye.
Roll me, baby. She knows me, I'm Mr. AJ. I told her I can be a bobo. She wants to be my baby.